I like to have a challenge. I mean, I did a film called Jane Got a Gun where I had to take over from Darius Konji and I had no prep and I had to walk in on the first day. I'd never met the director before and say, "Hi, I'm Mandy, what are we doing?"
Which director was it? Because
it was Gavin O'Connor.
Right, Lynn Ranty exited. That's before you came in, right?
Yes.
So Darius exited with Lynn.
Yes.
How on earth did you do that?
Well, that's where I was actually really excited about it because I suppose I'm in a position in my career where I feel comfortable about, you know, working on the fly and making decisions really quickly. And really both of us, like Gavin and I, he can think really quickly. And so I just worked from here, you know, I just worked from a gut feeling about what was right for the situation. A couple of people had said to me, well, don't you just make cool shots and don't you just sit there thinking of cool images? And I said, no, that's not what you're there for. You're there to tell the story.
Maddie, as an example of that, why don't you talk about truth? Because you really used the lighting, the camera, to show what Mary's experiencing during the course of the film.
We always wanted to make it very subtle, the way that the camera was, you know, not draw attention to ourselves in truth, because there's a lot of people talking in very small rooms and there's a lot of dialogue. And so at the beginning of the film, when they're putting the story together and we're introducing the characters, it's much lighter and there's a little bit more colour and the camera moves quite a bit and there's a few unmotivated camera moves that kind of take you from one place to another. And then as the story turns and Mary's becoming questioned, it's very subtle, but there's a little bit more contrast. We put Mary in the centre of the frame more and we lessen the depth of field. By the end of the movie, when she's in the inquiry, we had almost black room and everybody had black clothing and it was all about faces. And then we only moved the camera. Like there was a lot of people in the room, it was about 20 people in the room, but we only moved the camera twice and it was when she was making her end speech. And then so we felt that we wanted to make an impact with the camera rather than people being aware of it all the time. And same with the lighting.
You didn't cause this, Mary.
Well, you're a liar, you know that? Why didn't you ask me?
Because God knows everybody else did when it hit the fan. Why didn't you?
Ask you what?
Why didn't you ask me if the documents were real?
Because I knew I didn't need to.
Who taught you the most?
I think I've learnt different things from different directors. I learned a lot from Baz Luhrmann when I did Australia because it was, that was the largest film that I'd done at the time and I'd come from something much smaller before. One of the most important things I learnt from him, he said to me, you have to be a general. And because I was running a lot of different units and my department was, you know, 100 people and I'd never done that before, he said, you're not just an artist. And because I am an artist, but he said you also have to consider yourself as a general. And they're two parts you have to play and very important, especially on a bigger film. And that's what he taught me.
And are you comfortable being a general?
Yes, I am.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
What's the biggest mistake you've made?
I think, like the rest of the guys saying, everybody does make mistakes throughout your career because you're always trying to do different things. You're always in different situations. I look at my mistakes and I learn. Well, I do learn from them, but it was the right decision. You know, it was, for me, the right decision at the time.
Do you feel as a woman in an industry that's very dominated by men that people judge you more harshly or they're looking to find mistakes?
Well, if they are, I don't know about it. It really, for me, I don't know. I don't think about myself being a woman in my job. I just think, I don't think of being a woman cinematographer. I think of myself just being a cinematographer. So I never look at it like that.
Has that changed? Is it easier today than it was, say, 10, 15 years ago?
Yeah, I think it is. I think it's changing and I think a lot of people have looked at the figures and seeing how few women there are in my job and that it's become obvious to everybody, whereas I think before they didn't really think about it. It was traditionally men did my job and nobody looked at it otherwise. I mean, I always think that I don't want to be treated specially for being a woman in my job. I just want to have equal opportunities like everybody else, you know.